Almost 3 years after being released and after receiving mixed or average reviews upon release, did this game really deserve an average score, or was it a truly underrated hidden gem? What's up everyone and welcome to a new video. My name is Omar with Real Gamer Review, and today we are reviewing Rage 2 almost 3 years after being released. If you're watching my channel for the first time, a like and a subscribe would be hugely appreciated. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Rage 2 is a first-person shooter video game developed by Avalanche Studios in conjunction with ID Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. Two big studios and a publisher that brought us some great games already. Avalanche Studios are the studios that worked on the Just Cause series and 2015 Mad Max game. ID Software, which as you most probably know, worked on the very famous Quake, Wolfenstein and Doom series. And of course the publisher Bethesda, the publisher that was recently acquired by Microsoft. They as well published a number of very famous games series like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Rage, Deathloop, among others along the years. So you probably by now have a good idea of what to expect from Rage 2 given the fact that those studios worked on it. The game is considered to be the sequel to the 2011 game Rage. The game was originally released for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One back in 2019, but it is also available through backwards compatibility mode on the current gen consoles Xbox Series and PlayStation 5. Rage 2 is a first-person shooter. You assume control of a ranger named Walker, where you choose at the beginning of the game a male or female character who, after finishing the prologue, is free to explore the game's apocalyptic open world. Players are given control over some of Walker's attributes, such as their gender, skills, or attire. You will be able to wield various firearms and tools to fight against enemies like pistols, assault rifles, shotguns, cannons, and more, including returning weapons such as the wing stick. You can also develop Walker's skills with nanotride-based powers. Through a mode called Overdrive, Walker's guns do more damage, enemies drop more energy, and they get healed constantly, providing players with an aggressive way to mow down enemies. Nanotrides from the first game, which act as special powers and ability boosts, can be used to increase combat efficiency. The game features vehicular combat, which reminds me a bit of the Mad Max game released back in 2015, and the vehicular combat includes trucks, buggies, and gyrocopters, with the player being able to drive any vehicle in the game's world. The weapons in the game as well, they have a bit of a nice twist in them progressing further into the campaign. You'll be able to upgrade almost all of them with new features. Also, the same is applicable for your vehicles. You will be able to upgrade them with new and different weapons. Also bear in mind that you will need to purchase bullets, rockets, and repair your vehicle as well constantly. Also worth mentioning, at some point of the campaign you will have access to some vehicle races as well, which are pretty fun. Along the story and the campaign gameplay, you will encounter a lot of interesting characters and a few bosses. Some of them are memorable and some you will quickly forget they even existed. The best thing about the game is the excitement that you will get from the thrilling in-game fights. This game is one of the most satisfying first-person shooters that I've played in the past few years. It gives the same satisfaction as the last couple of Doom games, but it is also very reminiscent of one of my old favorite first-person shooter games, Bulletstorm. This game is amazing as well, guys. If you haven't played it, you definitely need to give it a try. There is some sort of remastered version, and it is under the name of Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. Available on Xbox One, PS4 and PC, maybe check it out. So for Rage 2's campaign and gameplay, I would say the 18 to 20 hours campaign is actually pretty good and you'll have much fun out of it. In fact, for maybe one thing is that the world of the game feels a bit empty and a lot of areas that you drive through are just plain desert. As for the story itself, as I mentioned before, it has some interesting characters and some very forgettable characters. I would consider it a decent story, but definitely not the best out there. Coming to the graphics and visuals part, although the game is now a bit over 3 years old, but it still holds up pretty good in 2022. The visuals, lighting, reflections, and explosions are spectacular. Explosions in particular looks pretty good in this game as they are using the same game engine used in Just Cause 4 and 2015's Mad Max. Unfortunately, on all consoles it runs only on 1080p maximum resolution, even on the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, and the developers chose this sacrifice to be able to achieve 60 frames per second on the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. Of course, on the base consoles, Xbox One and PS4, it is capped at 30 frames per second. Unfortunately, till the recording of this video, the current gen consoles, Xbox Series X and PS5, didn't get any enhancement patches, so the game is still running at 1080p with backwards compatibility mode on both consoles. So for the best visual experience currently for this game, as the recording of the footage of this video, you'll have to go with a PC version. Another thing worth mentioning is Rage 2's lighting model. It is amazing. With a terrific dynamic day-night system, an oversaturated color palette in different colors, lights, adds a great deal of variety and produces beautiful sunrises and sunsets. The sky effects in particular are enhanced by the softness of the image on consoles, which is a pretty good trait for turning a weakness into a strength. The lighting effects are enhanced with volumetric lighting, which makes use of sun rays and lights shining through dust clouds to add depth and atmosphere. Light also reflects off surfaces in a way that tints objects in the environment with the color of the reflecting surface. These tints change as the color of light changes throughout the day and night. Coming to the music and audio part, I would say that Avalanche Studios did a pretty good job, especially when it comes to the sound effects of the weapons, explosions, and vehicles. The game has some pretty good voice acting from a few characters and some nice tracks overall. As always, I'll leave you with a few clips so you can check it out yourselves. As a conclusion, and after playing this game when it was first released and playing it again now, I would say that Avalanche Studios and ID Software created a pretty good gem here that was truly underrated at the time of release. Overall, it's a fast-paced, fun shooter that will keep you asking for more during its 18 to 20 hours of campaign. If you are into post-apocalyptic shooters like 2015's Mad Max, Rage 1, and Bulletstorm, or even if you like Doom games, then definitely this game is for you and you should give it a try. Alright, time to wrap this up. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, then leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.